Flamingo chef, show us what you got with cocktails and dishes that hit the sweet spot.
When you're making mashed potatoes, a couple of things to keep in mind is that different potatoes really have different uses. Like a russet traditional potato that most of us buy at the grocery store the most often, you can make mashed potatoes out of it and it's fine, but it doesn't have the same starch to it. So these are really better for baked potatoes and French fries and things like that. You can make mashed potatoes if that's all you have, but it's not my first choice. I like yellow potatoes. Now, red potatoes work really well too, but red potatoes are best really for potato salad. But yellow potatoes are your best choice for mashed potatoes. One, they're a little softer, but they have more sugary starch, which gives you a better finished product than a mashed potato. Also, boil them in milk, not in water. Milk and butter. That way, when you go to pull them off the stove, you can actually use the liquid that's in the pan to beat the potatoes instead of having to add more, and it makes the perfect mashed potato. Let's make some. So as you can probably see, I've got 8 potatoes that I peeled. I'm just going to cut those into chunks. Nothing's amazing here, just like this. And honestly, with potatoes this size, you could leave them whole if you wanted to, but they do cook better and faster when you cut them up for more surface area. In this large pot, I'm going to turn this on medium high. I've got a stick of butter, and I'm just going to, and this is unsalted butter, but you can use salted butter, that's fine. The reason I like unsalted butter in this is I want to pull out the flavor in the potato, not just the salt and the butter. So we're going to drop this whole stick of butter into the pan on medium high and let it start to work down. Once it's about a third of the way melted, we'll go ahead and add some cold milk and let it warm up and then start adding our potatoes. I'm also going to add salt, pepper, and garlic. Now, this is Kinder's The Blend. You can use ground salt and pepper. You don't have to use garlic if you don't want it, but it does add more depth of flavor. So the butter's starting to melt. We're just going to pour enough milk in there to cover the bottom of the pan about a ½ an inch deep. So it looks like that, right? It doesn't require a lot of milk. We're going to bring it to a boil, but I'm going to put the potatoes in before the milk even starts to boil. This is the opposite of what you do when you're boiling them in water, because we want the milk to soak into the potatoes as they cook. All my potatoes are now in the pot, so I'm going to go ahead and add some seasoning. Now, this is to taste. So for me, it's going to be about almost a tablespoon of the seasoning. You might want less. You might want more. If you want more, I guess do what you like. When you're boiling milk, especially when it's coming to a boil, you need to watch it and you need to stir it so it doesn't scorch, because if it scorches, it's all over with. We're going to just grab a little big spoon here and move this around once in a while and make sure that milk comes to a nice even boil and melts the butter completely. Keep watching it. The potatoes are going to need to boil once the milk is boiling for about 15 to 20 minutes. And we're going to put a top on it and bring the heat down to medium while that happens, because I really want to steam the potatoes. I don't want to just scorch the milk. They've been boiling in milk for about 10 minutes, and you can see it's thickening around the potatoes, because what happens is the starch actually comes out of the potato into the milk, which makes for a better mashed potato. Now, you need to boil these till you can press down on one and it falls apart with the spoon. So I know it seems tedious, but you got to keep stirring it once in a while because you don't want the milk to scorch. After about 15 minutes, you can go ahead and shut the power off on the stove. Now, I'm going to let this sit with the top on it for 3 to 5 minutes so it finishes, and we'll see what it looks like. But it's going to be this really nice, creamy consistency that makes it so it's really easy to mash the potatoes and you get a great finished product. Let's open this up. Look at that. You've got this nice, creamy consistency. In fact, the potatoes actually are, some of them are falling apart on their own. So we're going to take it off the heat and let the top sit off of it for just a couple of minutes. And then we'll move the whole thing over to the KitchenAid. Quite frankly, you could do it right in here with a hand mixer if you wanted to. I'm just going to drop all of this right into my mixer. There's probably a little more milk in there than I need, but it's not too much. It'll make them a little thinner, but they'll be fine. I'm going to use the whisk attachment. And like I said before, we don't need any more butter or milk or salt and pepper. It's already in there. All we got to do is turn this on. And we've got whipped potatoes. You know, the greatest thing about mashed potatoes, you can make too many and it's okay because you can eat them, again, heat them up in the microwave, no big deal. But if you make too few, you're going to have to stretch your meal out. Until next time, like, share, and subscribe. If there's something you'd like me to make, let me know. Eat fabulous. I'll see you on the next one.
In the heart of Kansas, under sky so clear, lives a chef with a flair, bringing folks some cheer. With a pinch of love and a dash of zest, he's the Kansas Flamingo, and his meals are the best.